Hi. Some time ago I did a video explaining how I converted these two Ork war buggies out of the Ork war truck kit. And today I'd like to show you a few more Ork conversions that I've been doing. I'm showing you these to begin with because the first one I'd like to show you is actually another variation on the Ork war buggy taken from the Ork truck kit, and that's this one. With the other two, obviously I've positioned gunner and driver in line along the chassis, whereas with this one I've actually left the Ork war truck cab in place, so I've got gunner and driver sat side by side and effectively just sawn off the back section to this little flat area onto which I've placed an oil drum with a Gretchen rigger sitting in. One thing I've noticed about this is it does tend to look shorter than the others, but in fact once you put them together there isn't that much difference. I think it is just because it's the positioning of the crew just presents a bit of an optical illusion. So anyway, that's the other Ork war buggy. Now for the original two you can find instructions on my website. This one isn't included there, but it's not that much different to the others. Now whilst discussing those conversions with the manager at my local games workshop, he mentioned the possibility of putting a scorcher on one as an alternate weapons fit, and I reminded him that according to the Ork Codex, to do that you actually had to turn it into a war track first. And it was then that I remembered I had some spare track sections from an Ork battle wagon, and so along the same lines I created this, which thanks to the little ornamentation on the front I have nicknamed the Skulldozer. And if I bring in a buggy again, you can see the similarities. The chassis is the same, the gunner is placed in the same place. The only differences are that I removed the small fuel drum that sits, that's probably best to show on here, there, that's been removed, and I've replaced wheels with tracks. Now to do that I actually had to move the axles, as it can be seen from here. I've retained all three sets of axles instead of just the two on the Ork war buggies, and they have to be closer together to fit with the wheels on the track sections. I then added the bulldozer blade from the Imperial tank accessory sprue, which just so happened to be the right width to fit on that. And the reason I had the spare track sections is because of this conversion that I'd done. If I turn it side on, you see it's quite simple. I just created an all-wheeled battle wagon by taking a truck kit and putting the rear wheels from that onto the battle wagon where its tracks would have been. Now these didn't actually fit straight on. I'll just remove the top. I've done that so I've got more options. You can see here I've had to drill through the chassis at each side and put through a section of plastic rod to act as new axles, and I had to trim away the mountings for the original track sections before they'd fit. It didn't take too long to do that though. It's a fairly straightforward conversion and produced a nice little model that just looks a little bit different. So of course I had an Ork war truck that didn't have its rear wheels, and that's become a half-track gun truck using some tracks out of my bits box. The track sections from the battle wagon wouldn't actually fit directly onto the back half of a war truck, fortunately, because if they had done then I wouldn't have had the bits to do my war track. All this is a custom built gun. It's a big zapper made from Bane blade fuel drum mounting there, a Tau ion cannon stuck on the front, on the top, on the front of which is then mounted a las cannon from the older pattern Lehman Russ kit, and then it's just been embellished with all sorts of other pieces, and an Ork gunner stuck up the side. Now, onto some completely unrelated models. This counts as a big track from Imperial Armour 8, and I nickname this Daphanza. And all I've done here is taken a Chimera type chassis and then doubled up the tracks to produce the chassis, and on top of that I have simply stuck the turret from a Baneblade and a couple of Ork crewmen inside it. It required very little modification actually. If I remove that, this portion here also comes from the Chimera kit. It's what extends the bottom of the hull backwards to take the Chimera. This piece immediately behind it is the slanted plate, so I only had to add two bits of plastic card, this flat bit here and then this round piece here to fit inside the turret and hold that down. Because those who will have seen my website and earlier videos will probably know I'm not a fan of the current issue Chimera style kits. I don't like the detail at the side, so on this kit I have basically just stuck bits down each side to remove the detail I didn't like and make it more orkified. Now, in order to get the Baneblade turret, I bought a complete Baneblade kit, which meant I was then left with a Baneblade that had no turret. And that has become my Skullhammer Battle Fortress. You can see here it's the standard Baneblade chassis. The sponsons I have modified with Ork weapons, and where the las cannon turret would go, I've placed grabber claws. Now, the grabber claws aren't in the rules for this model, so they're just for show. I do think they look nice. The demolisher cannon at the front has just been replaced with the muzzle from a battle cannon from a Lehman Russ kit. The view block comes from an Ork Stomper kit, and the turret is scratch built. The curved front face, if you look carefully, you may actually see it is in fact dozer blade from the tank accessory sprue, the same type I put onto the war track, and I've cut out the middle section to give it the appearance of a weapon mounting instead, and then I've just simply stuck on a box of plastic card and then a big plastic tube that I've drilled some holes in to give the appearance of a muzzle brake. And then round at the back, I didn't want the highly Gothic style engine block on, so I just covered the back with plastic card again, and a doorway from a Chimera kit to give an access point for the troops that this can carry, and then simply stuck on as many random bits and pieces to give it the appearance of a very crude engine. And that really is that. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I will hopefully be back sometime soon, certainly sooner than the gap between this video and the previous one, where I might just show off some Ork infantry conversions, if I can find all the figures I want to. Thanks. Bye.